Okay, everybody. Well, I think I'm making progress, or I've gone like 700 steps backwards. Um, on the forum, I will post a screenshot of this just for anyone that needs future reference. For a 35 pin DME input plug, this is the pinout. This is every pin labeled. I don't have the wire colors on there, but following the numbers should be pretty straightforward to know what should go where. And taking apart the harness, you can see that somebody has had their way in there and has been pretty relentless. As you can tell, I'm really struggling trying to figure out what the hell it is that they actually did, because what it looks like is they took a bunch of grounds where the ground should have been a ground. So pin number 5, chassis ground, and then the negative for the crank position sensor into, and then like put them together, like tied those together as opposed to leaving them separate, which I don't even know how the computer would have, like, how does that even trick the computer if it's just a ground? Like, why not leave the ground where it was supposed to go? I think what happened is this sensor went bad, which obviously it did. I don't know how long ago. And this was the aftermath of it. And rather than change the sensor at the time, what he did was, for whatever reason, tie it off to a different ground. He took all this apart, tied it off to a different ground, tied a bunch of wires together, and then, like, I don't even know how this car would run. I don't know how the car lasted as long as it did. If this was the sole issue, then honestly throwing in a new DME and new wiring harness should cure a lot of issues, a lot of problems. Because, I mean, like, that's just freaking ridiculous. I'm trying real hard not to cuss here. Like, how's that even safe? You know what I mean? If two of these are grounds and they're touching, and then all of a sudden you have a live hot wire next to them, like that close. Like, you gotta be kidding me. This thing was literally that far away from an engine fire, or from an electrical fire. So, I'm like, I have a lot of receipts for this car, dating back to when it was first bought. I have the original window sticker for it. So, the car did come with a lot of history records, but at the same time, it did sit non-registered for 14 years in California. So it's like 14 or 15 years. So in that time, even though it was not registered, I don't know if this was done around then in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, up until somebody else bought it. I don't know if this was done recently just to get this thing running so that someone would buy it. But I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous, dude. So, even with the sensor on there, with the plug on there, you can see that was the wiring for it. And something as stupid as that will make these cars run rich. It'll make them smoke. It'll make them stall randomly. You know, you can see that the injector circuits are on there. If normally it's a computer problem if your injectors are firing too long, but I mean, if there is some electrical interference from something as stupid as whatever you want to call this, then I mean, that can cause the car to run wonky. The very interesting thing is like I had to register this car for 2 years. You know, here at the Arizona DMV, and the results were fantastic. The car would pass with flying colors, and it was up until recently when I started having this issue that my seal levels were nuts and off the hook and all that kind of crap. So I think the mechanical components themselves are fine, and I think it has more to do with whatever the F that is. So it looks like I get to drop $350 on a wiring harness, another $200 on an ECU. I couldn't get the rest of this bracket out, no matter how hard I tried. I managed to go from underneath the car and actually fit an Allen key on there, but I can't even turn it, and I don't want to warp those. I don't want to strip the heads on those because From what I've been told, the motor's gonna have to get pulled if, you know, and I would honestly rather just drill those out and then put 10 millimeters in there, because I've seen in the workshop manuals that it's 10 millimeter bolts, not Allen keys. I don't know why they would use Allen keys in a stupid position like that. So, I think that's all I'm gonna cover on this video. But yeah, I don't know how the car ran as long as it did. I honestly don't even know that this is the issue. And if it isn't, that has me scared shitless. But I'm fairly confident that that's a big damn contributor. I might do. I did grab. I did replace the stock fog lights with some LED ones, little mini light bars, and yeah, I know they're off-roading, but the car's low and angle them down, they look really, really great. Can't wait to try those out on a super dark road in really bad weather, because I do drive this car a lot. So that might be coming up next year in a few days or a week or so. But there you go. There's the holiday spectacular of douchery that is my wiring harness. I don't know what else to call it. I could go off on a bunch of, I could use every word in the book, but that's just mean. I must have done something real bad in life to end up with this. Because here's what freaks me out now is, for whatever reason, the car ran like that. So now, if there's any other tinkering that was done in there like that, if I put it back the way that it's supposed to be, if I rectify that issue, well, now the car doesn't want to run, because even though everything's set up correctly, there's something else that's wrong that's going to be not right with the DME. Unless maybe I'll luck out if I swap DMEs. But I might as well go ahead and show you this since I have it opened up. It looks to be like a lot of flux residue. You can tell. Like, look at all that dirt getting in on the edges. This was, not only was this cracked open before, but it wasn't done very well. Let's see if this is the side that comes out. Yeah, it is. So I'm just gonna take this open. You can see the guts of an early DME. I still have yet to learn what any of this means. All it looks like to me right now is a bunch of transistors and resistors and a bunch of memory chips. But which one is the main memory control? What resistors control what circuits? What transistors go to what circuits? I couldn't tell you. I've seen a few videos done, really helpful videos that lay out the later DMEs. Never seen one done on an early. But yeah, in case you're wondering what the inside of your computer looks like if you've got one of these early cars, there you go. And from what I can tell, let's see if I can try to zoom in on the soldering joints at all. But I don't see any noticeable burning anywhere on the board. At the same time, I don't have experienced eyes in this department. You know, if I zoom in, I can see like hairline cracks on every single solder joint. But I mean, again, the car ran 2 years straight, so I you know, kind of at a loss for words. But I will get this one tested at some point. I will keep it as a spare. Might even chip this one since it's already cracked open. This is a hoopla. That's not staying. You can see where this was just resting and got. It's exactly why I'm gonna put some more insulation on it. There's the new starter that I had to replace that I had to take back out to try and see if I could get room to those bolts on top of the bell housing for the bracket. And I think I actually have that bracket sitting around here somewhere. You know, I just had it in my hand. Yeah, here we go. So you can see that I managed to cut off and grind away enough of that bracket to break this piece out. And you can see, come on, focus. That so it's just the other half that's bolted into the car that needs to come out, so that I can just replace this bracket. They're on Lindsay's website for about 80 some odd bucks, I think, maybe 86. Yeah, so there's my holiday spectacular update on the what once was a daily driving 944 that turned into a colossal cluster fudge. But anyways, hopefully after the holidays I'll get all this sorted and get everything back in the car and move past all this and get back on the road. So, alright, as always, thanks for watching.